What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mama Knows Best. Sorta. It's been a little while. I guess got a little update. I cut my hair. I went corporate. They told me I had a couple bosses. I'm not gonna say what company I work for. A couple bosses said I was coming to work looking like a nigga. So I got
Oh,
called.
wait, so it's about you. This is Mama Knows Best, sorta. So you really started off the podcast talking about you? Really?
I mean, the way you look 22. So I
Cute.
like, I mean, are you cripping? I got dark meat with your hair. I got turquoise eyeshadow. I got some type of blue. I mean, like, what are we doing? I mean,
Hold on.
the air pick out your outfit. The
Okay, so
air,
we name dropping. That's what we doing.
we name
Okay,
dropping.
but hold on. Let me
Oh,
tell
we
you
name
something.
dropping.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. You've been mad talking stuff, talking about y'all interviewing a mama. Let's interview a mama, because guess what? I quit. Like the way this operation is going, I want no parts of it. So can we get the substitute of mama number one up on the stage? What we doing?
Well, you sound like a modern woman, and in today's society, we are trying to weed out people like you. So
Oh, really? The
again,
person that said
the,
that y'all was interviewing mamas?
as you see, I can't even get through the introduction. All I said was "Welcome to Mama Knows
No,
Best."
you
I
talked
try to.
about your haircut. Like, why are we talking about your hair, yo? Where's Soap Daddy? Like, that's supposed to be a podcast for you and Soap Daddy. That ain't supposed to be and what you just said, Center. Like, that's what that podcast is for. That ain't what this podcast is for. All right.
But as you see, my mother does not want any updates from her son. Okay, this is episode number 24. We're super excited for this episode. Obviously, this year for 2025, we're taking the podcast a lot more serious. We're gonna get a lot of episodes out. We're gonna see a lot of content, a lot of more new content, reaction videos, stuff, vlogging. I mean, my mama takes a trip every 5 days. I mean, unfortunately, I can see her, Eric, and her raggedy friends. I can see her, Eric, and her raggedy friends all over Facebook. I mean, she uploads a dump on Facebook with 25 pictures and gets 10 likes. I'm like,
Hey,
who does that?
you're
Like,
right, but guess what? I get 100 people asking me where they do it at. Where can I get? Can I get your itinerary? It's not my fault. That people don't want to shove the love publicly, that's not my fault. It is what
anyways,
it is.
episode 24, we're gonna be talking about can you make it out the hood, right? And the motivation behind the episode, shout out my cousin Dorian. While I was in Kansas City, when I took a vacation before 2025,
Wait, you took a vacation to Kansas City? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait, so what you telling me is you took a vacation to Kansas City? So this is appropriate. Can you make it out the hood? Carry on.
hey, so we gonna just move on from there. We gonna bring in our guest. My big cousin ain't my cousin from Kansas City because I can't talk about Kansas City, but I got a big cousin that we're gonna bring on, aka Henso. I don't know his real name. You know how some of these niggas be. They got all type of nicknames. I mean, I don't know if it's Henso or whatever he's associated with, but this is my big cousin. I love him a lot, man. Seeing what he does alongside my other cousin Justin out there in Dallas, man. They really motivation. They do a lot of great things. But we have to bring
Wait,
they
so this is the other side?
no,
We bringing
this is the other side,
oh,
and you better watch your mouth. You better watch your mouth.
you gotta
Because
behave.
guess what? I got the best editor in the business, and we can take you off the screen.
Oh
We can
no,
do
no,
that.
you know what? I got his number. Because I send him his money every month. So you better watch your mouth.
Well, you would make me pay half with it. So what's going on with that? Anyways, and Mom, I'm gonna give you this nugget. He's from East St. Louis.
Wait, what? So okay, okay. Appropriate topic. Bring him on.
We brought him on. My big company, Henso, man. What's the word, man? Look, Henso.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all is funny. I
No,
ain't gonna.
hold on, Henso. I'm gonna give you a set of rules. I'm gonna act tough because you're in Texas. I'm looking at this. You can't touch me, so I can be tough right now. Henso, this is
Alright.
my podcast, okay? So I'm gonna lay down the ground rules.
Okay.
You are spoken to, okay? You don't speak out of turn. You don't interrupt me. Hey, if you want to interrupt Mama, go ahead because a lot of things she say it don't make sense anyways, okay? But when you see someone on here talking, you don't interrupt me. So I'm gonna allow you to talk. I want you to introduce yourself, Henso, where you stand at. You know what I'm saying? We happy to have you on the episode.
I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Hey, so it is when it comes to a little bit about yourself. We obviously said before we brought you that you were from East St. Louis, which my dad's side of the family is fish and face again. My dad's side of the family
Oh, okay, my bad.
is from East St. Louis, so we have a lot of pride in East St. Louis, even though I'm from Kansas City. Just talk about some of the misconceptions of East St. Louis, or like, what is the city's identity?
Wait, hold on. No, hold on. Wait, before you start. You said a mouthful. He was supposed to introduce himself. We need an intro before we go right into the question. So
You're right.
please tell us about yourself, how we can find you, how you know Son. Son tries to be hard, but he really ain't hard. But you know,
I
you
mean,
got to start
yeah, of
there,
course,
and
of course,
then
I'm
we
not.
can go into the question.
Of course, I'm
Alright.
not hard. I'm 5'7", a buck 80. I mean, really? I mean, anybody can look at me and know I'm not hard. I mean, really, what are we talking about? But Henzo's mama's right. Can you give us a little bit of give us a 30-second bio?
Alright, I go by the name of Henso. You can find me on all social medias at Henso, Facebook, Henso, Instagram, Henso, anything, YouTube, everything, Henso. You feel me? I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois right now. I reside in Dallas, Texas. You feel me? So that's pretty much it.
Okay, so
Hold
but
on,
there
mama.
got hold
Hold
on, no, no, no. There got to be a lot about you because we've been trying to get you booked for the last week. So you've been booked and busy. I mean, what you been doing? Like, come
I
on.
mean, I just be working, you know what I'm saying? It's just nothing more, nothing less than that. The last time we scheduled, was I sick? What was going on? I don't know what it was. I know I was just sick this past last week on the 7th, on the 6th and 7th. I know for a fact I was sick because I went to the hospital and everything.
yeah,
Oh,
So
well,
yeah,
okay. So you good?
yeah.
it doesn't really phase or bother me. I mean, when you're dealing with in Henson, I'm gonna say this: he's a great guy, but he is a nigga. Okay, he put. I mean, that in Henzo. I mean, shoot, that you might. Whoa. Okay, so we know when you're dealing with dudes like this, you gotta. I told him 7:30 his time, but I was like, bruh, we ain't gonna start till about 7:50, 7:55,
Don't do
8
me
o'clock.
like that.
Okay,
Don't do me like that.
Well, listen, I got a secret. I mean, you too young because you know you Henzo. I'll be in your city in 2 weeks,
In two
but
weeks.
the weekend of the 25th. Turn it up. So if you see me outside, just chuck up the deuces. Just chuck up the deuces.
I got you. I got you. I got
No
you.
hey,
footage. Do not be sending it to Christian. Do not be sending it to Mama Knows Best. You
I got
understand?
you. I act like I
we
don't
go,
even see.
hey, we gonna see her bodyguard Air. God, I'm so sick of seeing that dude. I'm so sick of seeing Air.
Bodyguard.
Yeah, her bodyguard Air. I mean, he counts the amount of breath she takes. But nah, man, we want to talk about this topic. This is a great topic. I know we had talked off camera, hands up at the topic. You was like, man, you fit great for this topic because obviously you come from a city that produces phenomenal talent from an athletic standpoint, leaders, like just seeing how you are, meeting you, seeing how my cousin is, Justin, like you guys are probably like one of the two most transcendent people I've met from a personality standpoint I've ever met, right? And just
Facts.
knowing about East St. Louis, like it's just a lot of pride that comes from that city. But obviously, it gets real from the hood standpoint. In a lot of ways, is that I want to go off topic and ask you though, what is one of the most common misconceptions you feel like the East St. Louis gets from a reputation that's not necessarily true?
Um, I don't really know because everything people say be true. You feel me? I don't really know no, I don't really know no. I mean, anytime I speak
I
on East
see.
St. Louis or Even while I'm out here, anytime I tell somebody where I'm from, everybody got the same reaction. Like everybody know it's dangerous. Everybody know it's small. You know what I'm saying? If you've been to East St. Louis, then you really know. So I mean, I don't really know no. Yeah, everything they say be true. Honestly, I ain't never heard no good about East St. Louis, and I can tell you that it ain't too much good from East St. Louis. It's good there, but it's definitely more bad than the good for sure.
Mm. So then what made you make the transition then from East Saint to Dallas?
Hold on. We gotta back
Okay.
it up. We're going out of place. You talk about it being true because obviously I'm not moving around in East St. Louis. I'm a suburb kid. I'm strictly a nerd, okay? But obviously, after I do my business in St. Louis, I see my girl or whatever, then I
Right.
get over back to Danville after sometimes go through East St. Louis. So it is real, okay? East St. Louis is hood. It's not make believe, right? You talk about that, yes, there are great things about East St. Louis, right? But you also know that it is still real as far as the hood perspective. What is the hardest challenge you faced growing up in East St. Louis, during your time growing up?
Hardest challenge really peer pressure. That's what I say. Peer pressure one of the hardest things to deal with in East St. Louis because it's so small and like bad stuff such a big influence on everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't doing nothing, like if your parents don't got you in sports or like real strict on you and making you do something else, you gonna verge off into doing whatever they see the dope boys and everybody else doing. You know what I'm saying? So I say peer pressure for a fact.
Yeah, that that's a good point. And Christian, I know you try to skedaddle or dance over the fact you used to live in East St. Louis. Stop,
Hey,
stop.
hey, well, so that means I'm gonna claim East St. Louis, man.
That's gonna give you your street cred.
Yeah,
Nah, you
I
good
want,
where you at,
I
bro?
want,
You
I
doing
want,
great what you
I want to
doing.
get my
No,
street
so
cred.
I don't know if I have the right to talk about it. He may try to edit it out, but his dad was born and raised from East St. Louis, Illinois.
Oh
But
yeah.
they was the pillars, they was the Michelle and Barack Obama black folk
Oh,
of
okay.
East St. Louis. They was on the borderline of East St. and Belleville.
Oh, right there in
But
Edgemount.
yeah, but they still had their foot on one side to say they was hood, but then they had their foot on the other
Um,
side to
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it ain't nothing wrong with that though. That's just a
I
little bit
ain't
of
saying
balance.
that, but he tried to glance over that he don't know because y'all got the best Chinese food.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I forgot the guy that came out and rated us, but he did give it number one to the East Side. So yeah,
Yeah. What you
Exactly.
so
talk
So there,
about?
hold on, but 1 second, there is some good, right? Because ain't
it
there a
is.
couple of stars or people that came out of
Yeah,
East?
Ike and Tina, they from East St. Louis. They used to live over there, kind of like Vine Avenue by Centerville. There's a lot of athletes that come from there. So you know,
Yeah.
so
So
yeah,
one thing that you pointed on is having that direction. And I think if you have that, it doesn't matter where you are. I think it's having that structure and having that mindset of wanting more, wanting to do more, you can do. So
right.
I mean, East St. Louis is East St. Louis, but can we make it better? You
We
know,
can. They trying right now. They done put the state boys out there trying to, but it's just like I honestly feel like the city cursed. Like I just really believe that the city is cursed because I don't. It's so small. I don't see like it's so much.
mm,
It's just like I don't. I really don't see it ever being better until it's gentrified. Until them people really come and just like force everybody
wow.
out and put who they want in there. Until then, it's a never ending cycle. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, this isn't an East St. Louis episode. This is talking about coming from the hood. So we want to take it more back, to a broader perspective. Um, Obviously, a lot of people that do come from the hood or just from not necessarily even the hood, but just from a standpoint of families that may not be as affluent, right? A lot of people that may have graduated from college or have a lot of people that have financial resources, right? How did you become something that you never seen before? Meaning, hey, you grew up in this environment, may not been the best environment, right? But You grew up, was able to get, graduate high school, you working, different hubs that you're doing, you know what I'm saying? You up and you took a leap of faith, went out in Dallas, having motion out there in a whole different state. Where did that motivation, desire to come from to get there?
I mean, that motivation just came from being there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like being in that type of environment, living it around the stuff you living around, and actually wanting better for yourself. I've been wanting better for myself at a young age. Like if you talk to my mama, she'll tell you that like I was very aware of what was going on. I wasn't one of them kids that just like, oh, I thought this was normal. For one, my dad and my mom wasn't together when I was little. So my dad lives in Fairview Heights, which is Belleville and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at a young age, I knew the difference. Like I go to my daddy house and I see this, but I come to my mama house and it's a completely different thing. Like we ain't living like they living. You know what I'm saying? So at a young age, I always wanted better for myself. Like you could just like I don't know. Like so my motivation was really my environment, like seeing what's going on, seeing people struggle, going over my friends' crib, they crib worse than mine, watching my mama move house to house. Like we never was somewhere steady for a couple years. Like we was always here for a year and then we going here for a year. Then we going to live with them. Then we going to live with them and then we're gonna stay here for a year. The longest I ever stayed, the longest we ever stayed somewhere was my 5th grade year. My mama stayed in the house from 5th grade all the way to after I graduated. But up until
Yeah,
then, till I was like 9 or 10, we was bouncing around projects here, projects there, going to live with them, going to live with them. So it was just like I was aware. Like my brother was never there because he was real good in sports. So I was really like
yeah,
the only child. So I'm seeing everything. Like you feel me? So really
yeah.
my environment for sure.
Hold on, I
So
want to,
being,
I
hold
want to,
on
hold
one
on.
second.
Mom, I want to give a follow up though to that
Okay.
because you talk about you hit on, bouncing from different environments, not having to steady. It's all these different distractions, right? And I think a lot of people try to say, and correct me if I'm wrong here on this. A lot of people say like, hey, if you want to make it, you can, right? And they make it very black and white. I'm the type of person to be like, okay, well, there is a lot of gray area, right? I had a phenomenal mother that was an engineer and she did great things. And then my dad was an engineer, he does great things. And so as a kid, I had a very stable household with two individuals that knew how to make it. They had they had a blueprint, and all I had to do was just walk down the pathway. As long
Right,
as I just took the right steps forward, whatever. Like even if I took the wrong steps, I still was never going to be off the blueprint, right? And
right.
so for someone to not have that blueprint and have all that going on, bouncing from house to house or whatever transaction that happens, you know, do you think that it is more that it? Do you believe that it is harder or like not even that, not even do you believe, what are some of the obstacles or the traumas that you face having to go through all of those obstacles that maybe some of your peers didn't have it growing up?
Facts. Like one thing I liked about you always though, it's not off subject, but you never been ashamed of being from the suburbs, even when you around niggas that ain't. You feel me? A
Yeah,
lot of dudes that I grew up with, like I have it real good, but then they'll come around us and try to act like, you know
Pretend.
what I'm saying? Like, but it's not there, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Like that's what we want. Even if we like where we from, we talk about the people that's living better, where they got a better life than us, really because we jealous of it, really because that's what we want. Because when we grow up, that's what we move to. That's what we try to be. So that really just be like a big front and a big cover up. So you know what I'm saying? But I kind of verged off a little bit. I forgot what you
no,
asked
no,
me,
that
but
was good.
that's
That
what
was
I like
good.
about you, though. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Mama, go ahead.
Well,
Now, I think that's really dope that you said that. So you said a mouthful. It's really on both ends, not being ashamed of where you're from, and wherever you are from, own it. You understand what I'm saying?
right,
And so like Christian could have played the role of, oh, I'm from this, that, and the third, and then try to pretend like he was in the streets.
right.
And then you like, I'm okay, I'm living here, but I'm trying to be where you are. So to me, the lesson is just be confident in who you are.
Be
And even if
yourself.
you are in the streets, be the best person in the streets. So we did a video along I think earlier in the Mama Knows Best. And so my homegirl was on there and she was saying, if you a hoe, be the best hoe that you are.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is that you want and that you desire, be the best. Not saying that you don't have dreams or goals to be something different. So, but don't be fake.
Right.
And
No, that's
one
right.
thing about I would say, I'm not saying the hood, but the hood they can point out somebody who's phony or a fraud.
Facts.
So what I'm hearing from you is just be your authentic self. Yeah, these are the cards that I've dealt, but guess what? I want X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to strive for X, Y, and Z. And I love that about you. Like even when you was saying regentification, I don't think I would have never heard somebody say that's living in a city saying what's gonna help my city is I've never heard that before. So I know I'm probably going a little bit off course, Christian, but can you expand just a little bit more on that?
What's the question you asking them though?
The regentification, like why does he see that as being the hope of the small town of East St. Louis?
Because I mean, it's nothing there. Like it ain't no resources for real. Like they almost taken away the biggest resource we had, which was the Jackie Joyner Kersey Center. It's like that's not the same no more, and that was a big savior for a lot of people. Like sending your kids to the JJK, they kept them occupied, they kept them out the streets or whatever. Like, but they trying to. It just seems like any resource that we get, but it ain't. That's why I said I don't think it's the people that's bringing the resources. I think it's us. Like on some, like just being honest. Like we can't keep nothing. It's always something. Like it's literally like people be scared to bring certain stuff there because they know they gonna waste their money almost because people don't know how to act. That's why I said gentrifying it, bringing who they want in there, setting rules like you got to run your credit. Like I see why people be making you run your credit and like checking your background before they let you move into their establishment because they don't want that type of stuff to happen. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think that it ever happened to East St. Louis completely, even though it used to be one of those cities way, 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 way back. But that's probably the only savior. I'm not even gonna lie, because it's just like I just don't see it happening. I
Yeah,
don't
Yeah.
see it happening.
I think you made great points. I think that's a great question by Mama, but I think also too, I think a lot of it is systematic, right? And I think a lot of it is it's where there are levers that get pulled that happen above, right? Whether it's what resources are getting funneled into the city from the state, how are the city leaders reallocating that money, and what are they investing in, right? And for me, one thing that I always appreciated about you appreciated just watching Justin. Everything Justin do, I be watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I may not
Right,
comment everything, but like he's a leader, you know what I'm saying, of
right,
epic proportions. And so for me, it's one thing that you guys do within that as you guys are shining in Dallas, you guys still go back to East St. Louis. You guys still rap about East St. Louis and
right,
the impact you guys have. You guys, bring some light to it. Cause like, yeah, you guys might do East St. Louis in a different way because obviously you come from it. Like I got homies that live in Kansas City that are less fortunate. The way they view Kansas City is a lot different than how I view Kansas City because how I lived in Kansas City was a lot better than how they did. Right? They already been like, like maybe 2 3 over. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love Kansas City. I'm saying, Kansas City lit. And they're like, man, I'm trying to go to where you're going. I'm like,
And we the Super Bowl champs.
right. You know
I
what
had
I'm
that in.
saying? Yeah,
I'm
real
just
that's
talk. And
saying.
facts.
so,
That's facts.
but I think it's again, it's things aren't being. I think one of it is just like, man, it's you see how I think a lot of these states and these local leaders are keeping down the residents by not investing in infrastructure or just even housing. Like the housing that you see in East St. Louis, like there's so many abandoned homes, right? And there's just not, a lot of just any of that, like no rebuilding or whatever. And then too, I think it's also like, man, there's so many different people that come from the city that's talented, even just from the athletic standpoint. Like Jackie Jordan Cursor, like she went back and did something that, like that's an Olympian that went back build a center for kids, like you said, the savior. Like that hood has had multiple athletes, and there's hoods that all across America produce the top athletes. We have like the greatest
Right.
athletes, the greatest musicians, the greatest everything as far as the culture come from the hood. But the question is, does the culture that make it out the hood, do they forget about the hood?
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my little spill on. I guess the last question, I want to ask, and this has been a great interview. I'm not saying, Mom, you can't. Mom, you might have another question too. Was obviously we talked about this already on the podcast multiple times. Obviously moved to Dallas. You live in Dallas now. Every once in a while you be in St. Louis, but primarily you're setting up you set up a new life in Dallas. How do
Facts.
you maintain friendships with people that's not on the level of yourself early? You know what I'm saying? The rest of the crew in Dallas. The rest of the crew in Dallas, y'all motion, right? And y'all live a whole different life. Y'all have a
Facts.
whole different set of goals, right? How do you
Facts.
still be cool with the homies, the ones who's riding out with, the ones who's trapping with, the ones that was real life soldiers, ready to go? You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So it's a little bit harder to maybe let them go. You know what I'm saying? But you trying to go on a whole different pathway. Talk about that struggle and talk about how do you either maintain or let go some of those friendships.
I mean, most of my friendships, they still maintained. You know what I'm saying? We grown,
Yeah.
like we not no little kids. You feel what I'm saying? So everybody understand what's going on. When I come back to the crib, I tap in with who I tap in with. If you don't pull up on me or I don't talk to you, we just don't talk. That don't mean we not cool. Like we grown men. Like I'm almost 30 years old. Like we can go days, months without talking, and I'll see my homies, and it's gonna be just like we've been talking every day. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I just got a different setup of friends or what it is, like. But all my relationships still the same with everybody for the most part. Like it's some people that I don't talk to no more. Period. Gonna don't come to the crib and don't see them. Period. There's some people I talk to out here every day. When I come home, I don't see them, and vice versa. I don't take it to heart because I'm only there for a short amount of time. I go there, I see my kids, I see my family, and I'm out. You feel me? I don't, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to my city, but I don't stay there too long. You feel me? It's just gonna throw me off, and I just start back doing stuff I don't even want to do or be involved in
Right.
or none of that. So I just be in and out.
Yeah. So how long have you been in Dallas?
I've been in Dallas. Really, this is not my first go round. Like this is the longest I've been out here, like straight. I've been out here for like 4 years straight. Probably going on five. Yeah, it's going on 5 years now. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
I went to college out here straight out of high school, and like I've been just back and forth like this like probably like my third or fourth time moving to Dallas. My mama live here, my big brother live here, so I got family out here. I got a little support system and everything. Like you said, Justin live out here. That's one of my strongest supporters. You know what I'm saying? As far as like real life stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hundred
That's why I
percent.
lean on him and my big brother. So
I
yeah.
want to ask. I want to ask you a bonus question. 'Cause I feel like this is a question that I should have asked, and that I dropped the ball on by not asking earlier. But what was the turning point in your life to be like, hey, I gotta go get it. The way I'm living, the way I'm moving right now, you know what I'm saying? This is where I want to start living a whole different life. What was that moment or experience that just switched your thinking from being a boy to a man, from being
Mm.
like, hey, I don't want to have the hood
Reflection.
mentality, I want to have a wealthy mentality.
Probably
Hey,
you wait
tell,
till you pass
tell
that.
Slime, man. Hey, look,
Look,
man, look. Say, if a nigga out of work now, then what Slime? I think Slime come up to the camera. Hey, go, yeah, yeah.
but
But go
nah,
ahead, answer the
man.
question.
Probably when I was like in the, I don't know what grade I was in, but my mama was just going through it. Like she had ended up getting sick, catching multiple sclerosis. The jobs was slow. Like she wasn't having no money coming in like that. And like I remember like our lights being off, like we warming up with the heater, like no hot water. Like I was taking showers with like I used to have to get get pots and fill them up with water and put them on the stove, let them boil, pour it up in the sink till it fill up. And I'm washing up with like we ain't even had no bro, we ain't even had no regular towels like face towel. Like I was real life. You could ask my brother, bro. Like we was real life cutting socks open. Like wash some socks, cut it open. That's your face towel. So that's how I was
Yeah.
cleaning up. Like, but I wasn't no dumb kid. I knew this. What I was. I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing this because I done took showers before regular towels. So I'm one. I'm not saying nothing, but I'm like, where the towels at? Where the lights at? Why it's cold in here? Why I'm boiling? My mama, you could tell like she just irritated. So I ain't really trying to bother her none. She's single. Like my mama, she been single almost all my life ever since after my daddy. Like she had little dudes or whatever, but they never last. You know what I'm saying? So she was always single. You feel me? That's all I remember. But yeah, like I just knew like after that, like I used to tell, I'm telling you, if we could interview my mama one day, she would tell you like he been knew what he wanted. Like I still ain't got what I wanted yet. I'm in a different environment, but I still ain't
Yeah.
nowhere near where I want to be.
We definitely want to interview my mom, but I know Christian said the last question, but I have
No, ain't
a
no last question there.
hold
We
on.
keep going. We
This
keep
is a
going.
this okay, this is I'll say last question, point B. Do you think you're exceptional, or is there something extraordinary about you for you to see that and maybe, you know, I may be saying this out of turn, but maybe the patriarch of your family or the shining star of your family, like, do you think there's just something special about you, or do you think anybody can do what you do? And that's the reason why I asked that question.
I mean, I definitely feel like I'm special. Like my mama and my daddy tell me I'm special. You feel me? I just always been on some like different type of stuff. Like I have, don't get me wrong, I done got in trouble, I done verged off, like, you know what I'm saying, getting caught up in the peer pressure, I done did all of that. But I'm definitely special. And I wouldn't say like I would like I couldn't be the only one that can do this. So I ain't gonna say that. Like if you put your mind to it and like you said, be your authentic self, it ain't nothing that you can't do. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Keep God first on top of that. I'm real big on that. Like I'm a preacher kid for real. So you know, I definitely keep God first. I pray a lot, even people don't know. Like I get out to myself and pray, walk outside, pray. Like
yeah.
that works for a fact. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Okay, so no, that's real talk because a lot of people in my family has always said that I was different or I had the calling or whatever, and I'm like, nah, I'm not special. Anything that I can do, somebody else can do.
facts.
That's kind of been the battle, kind of back and forth. Well, like, no, you are set apart. So, just listening to you and listening to your story, it kind of resonated with me. Is like, no, you are set apart. There are people, not saying that you're better than, but you just have a different assignment than other people have.
Facts.
And I would say, because you said you almost 30, so that means you still in your 20s.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm in my 40s.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
my advice to you is, which really is not advice because it seemed like you got it, is to continue down that path and accept your calling. And when you fully accept it and not, you know, buck against it, the better it become and the more people that you will continue to help. And I know that makes sense to you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I love this interview. It was amazing.
Yeah,
And
we're not wrapping up the interview.
okay, I'm sorry. That was just
Yeah, yeah,
my,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christian thinks he runs.
No, no,
Christian is the sorta. He's the sorta. So I try to be, but I just want to say, I
or maybe
appreciate.
or maybe on your side of the man in the family, the McDonald way.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
we never get
Anyway,
into we never
this
get
has
into all
been,
that. We know I'm not done asking the question. I think that you had a great question. This is a great interview. We can edit things. We can reorganize. It's the power of. That's why Dale Red's the best editor. You know what I'm saying, west of the Mississippi. But I want to ask you. Talk about knowing that you're special. Obviously, you have an extreme level of confidence that you have now, and that's exuberant. Even the way you talking, we've interviewed a lot of people on here. Most people we interview is great, but the level of confidence that you've had, your clarity, painted a clear picture for our audience has been phenomenal. So we just know just how you're talking that you're confident. But there
Facts.
had to be moments as you were coming up, the environment that you in, I maybe projected, but maybe you weren't less confident, or was there a season of self doubt? That
Man,
self doubt
yes,
may have
bro.
been, you know what I'm saying? Like you talking about, like again, you talking about turn the socks into a face towel. You riding around, you know what I'm saying? You might have really been in the streets. You feel what I'm saying? And had to do certain things to make certain things shake. Or maybe your mindset was just influenced in the wrong way because of what other male influences that was older was influencing you, right? And so during that time period of self doubt, or will I ever make it? Will I ever have a normal life? How did that talk about that season and then talk about like man, like I know I already maybe already asked you a question, but talk about that season, but then how did you just get out of that? You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's a fact, bro. Like even like you would even ask like my family, like my cousins, anybody. Like nobody expected me to grow up how I grew up. Like when I
Mm,
grew up, nobody expected me to be doing what I was doing, how I was doing it, at the pace I was doing it. Like a lot of people was threw off because like when I was little, I was like I was a kid in the kid's place though. That was the thing with me. Like I grew up with a lot of with a lot of with a lot of people they parents was just allowing them to do whatever, however. So they was a lot more advanced than I was. Like they was able to stay out after the street lights and do all of that. I wasn't. Like when the street light come on, I gotta go home. My mom was like letting me stay over nobody's house like that without calling them, going over there, seeing what's going on, and all of that. A lot of these dudes they grew up too fast. If you understand what I'm saying, because a lot of the friends that I grew up either dead or in jail or they just city bound. Like no disrespect, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like it took a lot, bro. Like when I was little, like even like with my height, like I was a late bloomer with everything. Like I was little. I used to get picked on for not having like when you grow up in the city, you gotta dress a certain way. Like you gotta have certain stuff or you're gonna get talked about. Like you're not you're not gonna be him if you don't have jazz, if you don't got designer, if you don't got the up-to-date clothes, like if you don't got none of that, you're gonna be talked about. I mean, I always
Wow.
hung around a popular crowd, but like just like simple stuff like my homies they'll get Chuck Taylors for Christmas. I'll get Airwalks. You know what I'm saying? So everybody walking to school with their Chuck Taylors on. I got on Airwalks. I go to school thinking, you know what I'm saying? Everybody
You
talking about
fly?
me. But I grew up to be the person that them same people look up to. Like will like look at me and just be like starstruck. And these is people that I done grew up with. Like they would treat me a different way. Like they didn't treat me like that at first though. Like you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like I
mm.
used to get bullied. The bullies, I be
Right.
big. The people that bully me, I'm bigger than them. Like when I used to see them, it didn't
That
used to
part.
be that no more. Like you know what I'm saying? It was just like everything just hit a full 360. That's why when I believe in the tables turn for real. Like you know what I'm saying? So like it just became the opposite as I got older, and nobody expected me to grow into what I became. Like nobody. No, you can. Nobody thought I was gonna be Henso and how I was Henso and how I was actually like standing on business, like everything. Like nobody thought that, but that's just how it went. That's why I say the tables always turn. You feel me? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
So
that's
lesson
definitely
learned, be careful how you treat people
facts.
because you never
Yeah,
know, like you
and,
said, how it would
and,
turn.
Facts.
and that's a great close to the interview, man. We so appreciative you coming on. This
I
is definitely
appreciate
one of my
y'all.
favorite episodes that we've done so far. We
Now that
can't
was
wait to get
definitely
it.
one of my favorite episodes. No, that's mine.
Okay, so I guess it's one of both of our favorite episodes. But I definitely want to say this before we let you go, man. And just, man, I love you, bro. I love what you and Justin
Love,
are
bro.
doing. I think just the next evolution that y'all have is just really understanding y'all influence. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the pulse of the culture. Y'all got Dallas on, but really understanding what that entails, taking over the state of Texas and doing so many great things down there, man. Y'all set apart. I know a lot of people, bro. A lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And I actually might know the more people than anybody on this call. We got a 46-year-old, then she's 22. I know more people than her. We got hands on there. You come from East St. Louis and Dallas, I might got you beat. I could came from the whites of Connecticut. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? But
nah.
all jokes aside, I know so many different people, and you definitely set apart you and Justin and my boy Eli. Y'all three are like the funniest three dudes that I
Yes.
know. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what? Christian is the son. Remember, I told you Christian is sorta. So what I say goes, right? So I'm gonna bless you.
Wait,
You
so
are
so
definitely hush, hush. You are definitely set apart. And I want you to walk in your calling, continue to do what you are doing. Don't be afraid to speak what comes out of your mouth because people are wanting that and they are desiring that. You understand what I'm saying? So, listen, I think you are dope. This is one of my favorite episodes. I'm my mama knows best. He's the sorta. I'm glad that it finally worked out for us to connect. I never met you. I never heard of you.
Yes, ma'am.
but I would love to follow you and see, but I think there's definitely something special about you, and you clearly see it. And in those moments when you don't feel so special, remember that you're special, if that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am. Cause sometimes I do like, yeah, you right.
We all do. We all do.
All right, well,
We all
let the
do.
sorta, we're gonna let the sorta close us out.
No, well,
Come on, sorta.
I try to get my big bro blessing, but he took the spotlight. But we'll let Henso get the last word, man. Shout out who you want to shout out, and whatever else.
First of all, shout out y'all. Appreciate y'all for having me. Y'all was great. Y'all both funny. You just mother son, like, yeah, boy. You get a lot of that from her, for real. But yeah, man. Shout out everybody. Shout out Justin real early. Shout out my mom, my pops, everybody, my kids, Harley and Hayden. I love y'all. My city, East St. Louis, Dallas. I love y'all too, man. Y'all know what time it is. Henso on all social media platforms. Appreciate y'all.
Mama, bye.
Bye.